What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave, and I hit my start button about 5 minutes too early, but that's okay because we are live and we are here for a purpose, for a reason, and that is, of course, the news broke today that the big boss man is going to the Hall of Fame. That's right. He's headed to the Hall of Fame. That's right. The WWE Hall of Fame. And just like every time a mid-card guy, every time somebody who doesn't have the credentials, brother, to be in the Hall of Fame, there seems to be people, well, you know, the requirements, whatever the hell that means, which is something we're going to get into. Whenever that happens, there seems to be a lot of anger and upsetment about these guys getting in. You know, Rikishi last year, I was very vocal about that I didn't think he really belonged. But I didn't think about the big boss man. I got to be honest, man. I kind of thought he was already in. So when I saw the news today that the big boss man was in the Hall of Fame, I have to admit, it kind of took me aback a second because the part of my brain that is kind of the same as everybody else's is like, he's a mid-carder guy. He never held a championship. All these things, right? Started to set in. I was like, well, wait a second. This is the big boss man. So he immediately, it just like, I was just hit with these different emotions because I loved the big boss man growing up. My uncle looked exactly like him. I remember I carried around a damn nightstick. I was all about the big boss man. But it was just one of those things where I wasn't sure exactly how I should feel about it, right? And that's when it kind of hit me. What the hell are we talking about? We're not talking about Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. We're not talking about the NFL Hall of Fame. We're not talking about any of those real sports Hall of Fame because those are measurables. There's measurables. There's a set precedent for who gets in and who doesn't. I mean, there's some great players, Hall of very good players in other Major League sports that never get into the Hall of Fame even though they had fantastic careers. Wrestling is different because there are no measurables. There are no wins and losses mean nothing in the WWE. Ask Chris Jericho. He'll tell you. Championships don't mean much more than the fact that you had longevity and you were able to draw. But guys like Big Boss Man, guys like Rikishi, there's necessary purposes for them. Now I'm going to expand upon this more, but I'm bringing in my good buddy. I don't even think he knows that he's on, or I don't think he knew he was going to be on. But my good buddy, Tutal from XLT Live Podcast. What's going on, man?
What is going on, man? Thanks for having me, you beautiful bastard, you.
I am beautiful, aren't I? You know, this news broke. I kind of expected it to be JBL today, to be completely honest. But when I first heard it, I was like, man, yeah, big boss man. That's what I kind of already figured he was in. He died way back in 2004. He had a long career. He was always battling the top guys, especially early in his career. If you remember back into the mid to late 80s, he was brought in to feud with Dusty Rhodes, who was, you know, one of the hottest properties in wrestling at that time. And then one of the first things he did after that was go after Hogan. You know, it's just, and he kind of sustained that. And then when he left and he went over to the WCW, he had a good run there. He was in the NWO, he did his thing for a while. Then he came back and he was part of the ministry and the corporate ministry. And then the Undertaker hung him in the fucking Hell in a Cell. So there's all kinds of great. And they ate a dog. He interrupted the Big Show's your father's funeral. Your grandfather. It's your grandfather's funeral. He interrupted your grandfather's funeral. That's right. I forgot about that. So you probably harbor a little bit of resentment. What do you think?
I'm so angry.
What do you think about the big boss man going in the Hall of Fame?
I like what you said, that it's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not based off of like statistics. Yeah. I guess you can say more of it is popularity and what that person did for the industry, more so than how many championships that person won.
Sure.
Or how long he held.
I lost you a little bit there. Tutal, you still there?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
What do you mean?
Well, you broke up on me for a second.
Oh, your Skype hates me lately, man.
I don't know. But yeah, you're right though. What you were saying is 100% right. It just goes back to there's no measurables. You know, it's just other than longevity and putting people over. And hell, look, Big Boss Man was over. That gimmick was over in almost every incarnation that we saw him as. And you got to remember, he was an actual prison guard. That was real. He started out as a real prison guard and became a goddamn wrestler. And he had a great thing, the nightstick. Hard times, like, you want some hard times? I'm going to put some hard times on you. I love it. It's just all kinds of good stuff with the Big Boss Man, and just kind of went on and on. And he didn't mind being in goofy-ass weird gimmicks. He didn't mind being in strange feuds. He'd feud with anybody. I mean, his Al Snow feud proved that. It's just, a lot of people are going to hate fuck this induction. And I think I'm getting past that. I'm getting past unless we see Barry Horowitz in the Hall of Fame, that you can make an argument against. Like, that's ridiculous. But almost any other type of guy who's had a long career should probably be in. And you know what? You might even be able to make an argument for a guy like Barry Horowitz, who had a very long career of just jobbing to people. Maybe there's a spot for him. Maybe there's a wing. I don't know.
The jobber wing?
The jobber wing. When there's a physical Hall of Fame, maybe there's a jobber wing.
Right. What's up, Terry? What's up, Gun Cannon? Just wanted to say hi.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Kill310, Undertaker Calloway, new to the chat. What's going on, buddy? We got Gun Cannon, Terry hitting the moderation, Joseph Blunt up in the chat. All kinds of good people hanging out with the copious Fat Man. And, of course, Tutal from XLT Live Podcast as we talk about the induction of the Big Boss Man in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to me. And there's going to be outrage. But I just don't see the point.
I don't know why. I don't know why people get crazy about things like this. Again, it's the WWE. Yeah. It's not MLB. It's not statistics. It's not fucking how many titles. It's what that person did and who he did it against with and what did the person do for the industry. I think that's more so than how many title runs. Now, maybe John Cena, when he gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, that's going to be, he's a 22-time fucking world heavyweight champion.
That's like 22-time, yeah. What's funny to me is this discussion of who deserves it. Who, like, he's undeserving. He didn't do enough. He had a 20-year goddamn career. Rikishi had a career even longer than that, and they both had times in their careers where they were very, very well over and arguably one of the hottest gimmicks in the company. And it's the same thing with another guy who's going in this year, The Godfather. No major championships.
If there's any outrage, it should be, The Godfather would be more outrageous than Boss Man if you really want to outrage about something.
I don't know, because we're talking about another guy who had a really good long career, different variations of that guy.
Yeah, you say that now, though, but the people don't understand that. And then now you're looking at the kids, they don't even know who the fuck these people are. They're wondering, who Boss Man is, who the Godfather is. Most of these kids don't know nowadays. And these 14-year-olds are going to rage, who the fuck's this guy? Why does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? It's retarded. It's really dumb.
Luckily, because the WWE loves us all, you can get your education for just the low price of $9.99 a month.
Oh, did you get a WWE sponsorship? Is that what's going on?
No, I just think everybody who loves wrestling or loves the WWE or likes wrestling and wants wrestling history should get the WWE Network. It's an unbelievable value. You pay for fucking Netflix and all this other shit, but if you like wrestling enough to watch pay-per-views, it doesn't make any sense to not have the network. That's where I am.
It would be nice if the WWE and the WWE Network can actually update their server so it doesn't buffer every fucking 3 minutes when you're watching a live show.
Are you serious? Maybe it's because I'm in Germany. I don't know, but it's wonderful here.
I always have that fucking problem.
It doesn't. I get no skips. I get no jumps. Nothing. It's perfect.
Wow.
And it's always
now that you said that,
my
it's internet blow
sucks, and my internet's terrible here.
Yeah, but you said this now, so now you've put it out there, so now it's gonna take advantage of
I'm
your
shit sure. I absolutely cursed myself.
Yeah, it's exactly what you did.
But now I want to hear from you guys in the chat, man. I'd love you guys to call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or use the number 702-751-2902. Let me know what you guys think, or just put it in the chat. What do you guys think about the Big Boss Man going into Hall of Fame? Are you one of those, he doesn't deserve it, guys? And if you are, I want to hear from you. I want to hear the argument against Big Boss Man. I'm not trying to force my opinions down your throat. I want to know what the argument against the Big Boss Man is, because I'm no longer going to be making these arguments against wrestlers unless it's completely egregious. There's still a lot of great guys who deserve to be in the Hall of Fame that are not in yet. I would say that the Big Boss Man, and screw the word deserving, because Lord knows Jeff Huffman would stab me in the throat if he was here. Big Boss Man earned it. 20 years, amazing career, worked with the top guys. Hell, the guy got hung from a cage by the fucking Undertaker, for Christ's sake. So, I don't know, man. Let's take a call. Philip Tutabene, you're live with Dead on Dave and Too Tall. What you got? What do you think about Big Boss Man going in the Hall of Fame?
Hey, what's up, Dave?
What's up,
I
man?
think that the Big Boss Man going into the Hall of Fame definitely should have happened a few years ago. I'm honestly surprised that he isn't in yet.
Yeah, I thought he did. When I saw him in, I was like, really? He's not in? He died in 2004. I mean, he's not in?
I know, that's exactly what I thought too. Well, I'm glad that he's going in the Hall of Fame now. Like, he definitely earned a spot, even though he wasn't like a big guy holding titles and everything. Like, he put a lot of people over, but he definitely earned a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he had a really good role in the corporation during the Attitude Era. You know, he was always in there. He had a couple hardcore title runs and stuff like that. He was always putting guys over. And it was
Undertaker, The Rock, you could name like so many.
Yeah, and he had so many different, you know, whether it was Ray Traylor or Big Boss Man or some of the other fucking characters that he had, Big Bubba in WCW. He had a lot of different characters. It was just always him, and I liked that. He didn't change the way he talked, the way he spoke, the way his cadence. It was always the same Big Boss Man. It was always very comforting to me. Usually it's like, I want to see evolution. But no, you know what? And here's another thing, too. You know who should really be thanking Big Boss Man?
Let's go for it.
Roman Reigns. Because Big Boss Man wearing the tactical gear is what made it a thing. Roman Reigns, you're welcome. And you'll never be as cool in tactical gear as the Big Boss Man was in tactical gear.
Yeah, the Big Boss Man has the actual look because, as you said earlier, he was an actual prison guard. Roman Reigns is just some kid living on the beach with a lot of money.
He's a glorified underwear model. Roman Reigns should be working for Calvin Klein. I'm ready to run him out.
Definitely see Roman Reigns on one of those. Yeah, you could definitely see Roman Reigns on one of those posters in like Macy's or something.
Sure. But what's your favorite version of the Big Boss Man? Where'd you like him most?
Just exactly the way he was, just the Big Boss Man character, but I think he did a better job after he came back from WCW when he was in like the ministry sort of, and then the ministry kind of broke, like he broke out of that.
Yeah.
So like around that time, that's when he did his best work.
All right, what's your final thoughts on this? You got anything else before I let you go, Philip?
No, that's it. Just wanted to say, yeah, the Big Boss Man, he definitely earned his spot, and I'm glad that he's in now.
Agreed. Hey, I appreciate the call, Philip. Tuta bene. You have yourself a good day, buddy.
You too.
Now, Too Tall, I've got to ask you, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, you have a special connection with him, as I already stated. How did it feel when he dragged your grandfather's coffin from the back of that goddamn police car? I mean, it looked like he stole the police car from the Blues Brothers, hooked it up with a chain, and dragged your grandfather, the Big Show's daddy, across a graveyard. I know you still have to harbor resentment for that. Have you gotten over it? It's been a while.
I've gotten over it, but it was very rude of him to do that.
It was a little rude.
Yeah.
Funny.
You don't just do that. I've never seen anybody do that at a funeral before, and that was absolutely. I was there. You know, I was a young kid, and it still haunts my dreams.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. That shit was so funny. It was so ridiculous. It was so good. When Big Show jumped on that goddamn coffin and he got shit whipped off of it, it's one of my favorite moments.
Ridiculous. Redonkulous.
That and him feeding Pepper, the dog, to Al Snow. That's another one of those classic moments. I actually like that feud, man. I like
That's
that feud.
That's how you run storylines in a WWE right there.
Well, you know what? That's when minor storylines could be minor storylines, and they didn't have to account to much more. That's when they actually had feuds with lower mid card characters. You know, that's when they actually had a full rounded show.
Yeah, it made sense. Everybody on the card had a job to do. Whether you were mid card, you opened the show, whatever, you had a job to do, and everybody got time for their own storylines. That's why it was a lot of fun to watch back then. You know, especially for me when I started watching it in '97, everybody had their own storyline. Whether it was Stone Cold or whether you were fucking Funaki, you had something to do. You know, nowadays it's not so much the same. More focused on me.
I didn't hear the rest of what you said because once again your internet took a crap on me, or one of our internets took a crap.
I think it's your internet, bro.
I don't know. It only happens with you.
What?
Yeah, you're the only one who breaks up on me like this every now and then.
Connection.
I don't know. I don't know. It's possible my daughter is sitting in her room while she should be sleeping, watching videos. That's very possible.
That's a possibility, man.
Philip Tutte Bene. He was fine, so I don't know.
It's weird.
But regardless of, look, if there's anybody else who wants to get their voice heard on the Big Boss Man, now is the time where we're going to wrap it up because you can only talk about the Big Boss Man so much. It's good that he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm actually really happy about it. But I think the discussion now, because he's one of those guys that I think you can point at and really make a case for the workman, you know, the journeyman, you know, who didn't have any huge, spectacular, you know, wrestling altering moments, but certainly feels like the smell test. He passes the smell test of what a Hall of Famer should be. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, who else is? How many? Is that 3 now? Right? That's 3. No, 4. 4.
We got Sting.
Yeah,
we got the Freebirds.
Yep. Godfather and Boss Man.
And Boss Man, yeah.
What is it? 2 more slots to fill?
At least.
Or 1 more?
At least. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take
it's got to
another
be
call.
2 more. Yeah.
Joseph Blunt, you're live with Dead on Dave and Too Tall. What you got?
Hi, Dave. I'm just going to say he should definitely have gone in years ago.
You would think so. It felt like he already was.
Yeah, I mean, my first memory of wrestling is
we're
that
going back. We're going back, people. Let's get in the Wayback Machine.
Like, that was my first, like, him wrecking the funeral was the first feud that I remember. Like, I mean, people say, oh, he never really held a serious championship. Neither the fuck did Jake the Snake Roberts, you know?
That's very true.
And I'm not going to say he's on the same level, but, you know, Jake, you know, if guys like Rikishi can go in, I'm not even going to hear any fucking arguments about Big Boss Man.
Well, yeah, I think they're going in for different reasons.
Absolutely. Rikishi's went in for his gimmick.
Well, for the gimmick, and I believe he's also been rewarded for the unbelievably long career that he had. I mean, we got to remember, Rikishi existed long before Rikishi. He'd been around a long goddamn time. So, you know, in some ways he did deserve it in the same regards as Big Boss Man, but also the fact that he had such a huge gimmick and that was so over. Look, if Rikishi comes to the ring tonight, puts on the glasses and dances with Too Cool, the crowd's going to erupt. It's still. It was
and I mean, it's
gimmicks.
the same thing with The Godfather. If The Godfather came out and did the Ho Train thing, then
and I think that's where Big Boss Man differs. That's where he differs from those guys because he doesn't have that. If Big Boss Man just first thing people would say was, "Oh my God, he's a zombie! Fucking shoot him in the head." But after that, they would be like, "Oh wow, it's cool. Look, it's the Big Boss Man." That was the comforting feeling you have almost any time you saw him. I remember watching him having a good feud with Sting and WCW during Sting's heyday. I remember loving that. I believe Sting took the United States Championship off Big Boss Man at one point, or at least they fought for the title. I remember that at a Clash of Champions. There was some cool stuff that he did, and I'm always going to remember the Big Boss Man. My uncle looked exactly like him too. Had a nightstick and everything.
No, I mean, he was really good. I mean, he did his time he did his time, and
And he put
mind him
hard
being-
times on people. That's right. You would serve hard
He did,
times
and
with
so
the
long
big
as the-
boss man.
I don't really care who they put in, provided that, you know, complete jokes like Gilbert and the Blue Meanie don't go in.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't
So
think.
long as they
Ever.
keep.
I don't think
as
we're going
long
to
as
see
they
the
keep those
Kurgan in the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean, so long as they keep the complete jokes out, I don't mind them playing hard workers like Boss Man.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Anything else, Joseph Blunt?
No, you can throw me over the top rope.
All right. Request granted. Have yourself a good night, buddy. Yeah, it's he's right. Where do you think the cutoff is, too tall for the Hall of Fame?
Well, if you mention Gilbert, then fuck.
Right.
That's, I mean, that would be yeah. That's when I think the cutoff would be anybody that changed their shit multiple times, was there literally just to, like, why don't we just induct the Rooster or whatever, you know? Like, it just
Here's an
wouldn't be, it
interesting
would just be
discussion.
dumb.
What about
It
a
wouldn't make
guy like
sense.
Al Snow? Like Al
No,
Snow, in my
I don't think
mind,
he gets in.
not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I don't think he gets in at all.
Ever gets in. But I think you can make the same type of. I think somebody out there who's like me will and can try to make the same argument that I'm making for the Big Boss Man. The exact same type of argument. I just don't know if it sticks.
Right.
I think it's a much
Yeah.
harder argument to make. I don't know. What do you
Like
think?
Snow, I mean, I don't think Snow gets in at all. There's just no, I don't know, unless you, maybe if you want to look at what he did away from the ring, like training and being an official and things like that, if that's what what it is. But the Hall of Fame is not, what you did as an official backstage. It's what you did on camera in front of crowds, that's really what it is.
That's what it should come down to, and I think ultimately it usually does. I can't really think of anybody that I look at that's in the Hall of Fame right now, and I don't count the celebrity wing, by the way. I can't really look and go, well, that's fucking ridiculous. I think I probably tried to make that argument last year with Rikishi, but even with Rikishi, you have to look at and say, okay, look at his gimmick. Look how over it was at a very difficult time to get noticed. He went out and
Look
got
at Rikishi,
noticed.
period, bro. The guy was wearing a thong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, to get that over, for people to sit there and wait for the stink face. I mean, like, oh my God, he's gonna do this thing. Oh my, the crowd losing their fucking mind. It's, I would definitely say that. I don't know why people lost their mind over Rikishi that much. I don't think that was a bad choice. I really didn't.
Yeah. I remember not being happy about it last year. I know that.
You know who the last member of the Hall of Fame this year is going to be?
I think JBL and Jacqueline, I think they're both going to go.
I have the inside information.
Oh, all right. Well, hit me with it.
Yeah. It's Roman Reigns.
Oh, of course. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. You know who I
It's
think
Roman
the final,
Reigns, man.
You know who I think the actual final inductee will be? I think we're going to see over the next 3 weeks, we're going to see JBL, Jacqueline, and I think the final, and people still might think I'm crazy, I think the final one will be Daniel Bryan. I think they will put Daniel Bryan in this year. I think it's the right move to make.
Because it's going to get him a bunch of fucking views.
It's going to get him views. It's
Sales.
going to seem like the right, because look, if you feel like Daniel Bryan,
He's already going to be at
Famer,
WrestleMania doing a VIP thing like the whole week.
Yeah.
And
Most people feel like Daniel Bryan is going to be a Hall of Famer someday, right? I mean, I think most people feel that way. If he's going to be going in someday, it makes no sense to not put him in now. To quell any controversy, any bullshit of him maybe one day like getting the butthurt syndrome like of a Chris Nowitzki, because he is so young. Give him that appreciation now. Get it over with. That's my argument for that. Is that a fair argument?
I'll agree with that. Just move on.
Yeah.
But for Daniel Bryan, the thing about him is why wait another year or two when you can just take the heat that he's on now? And yeah, that might look like, oh, it's a little bit greedy, but it's also the right move for WWE selling WrestleMania tickets. His VIP tickets will be sold out every day.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of them are probably sold out now, but the fact is people still want to see Daniel Bryan. If he's going to retire, you put him in the Hall of Fame this year, especially if you want to try to fill out the rest of the seats. If Daniel Bryan is going to be, if Daniel Bryan is a centerpiece to the WWE Hall of Fame 2016, when they go out there for that intermission, when they come out there and everybody stands there, guarantee the whole crowd's just chanting yes, throwing their arms in the air. Guaranteed.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he will.
Guaranteed.
I don't think he would be the centerpiece, and nor do I think he should be. Sting is the centerpiece. Sting is the centerpiece for the Hall of Fame, and I don't think Daniel Bryan going in would take away from Sting going in, because fucking Macho Man went in. Well, he went in last year with Kevin Nash. And guess what? Kevin Nash is considered the headline. All right. He ended the show mainly because Lonnie Paffa was not going to end the shows. Nobody wanted to hear him talk, even though he did a really good job. I didn't think he was going to, but he did a really nice job. But I don't buy that argument that Daniel Bryan takes away from Sting, because for one, Daniel Bryan's not on Sting's level. And to make that argument, I will punch Jesus in the face. I swear to God. Fuck that. Daniel Bryan's bigger than Sting. Go F yourself. That's insane. And I love Daniel Bryan. But come on. So
even if he's not the centerpiece, the crowd's going to go fucking crazy if he is in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
It'll be a smart, like, overall, yes, giving Daniel Bryan the Hall of Fame for him, it's like another notch on the belt of like, wow, this is crazy. You know, I've done something, and to be recognized is great. And then on WWE's part, business-wise, what's best for business would be that if you want to make more money than you think you're going to make, especially if you're struggling and these bullshit sales. But I still don't think that WrestleMania is not going to be as close to sold out or even sold out by the time we hit WrestleMania in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. Well, remember, sold out for this stadium, if they actually sell out every single seat, it's like 125,000. They're not going to get that. Yeah. I think they can crack.
They're trying to do 100.
I think they can crack 100. I think they can, yeah. Especially if Dean Ambrose win the fucking title on Saturday. Holy shit. If that happens, that changes everything. But that's another story for another day. Last call for calls. If you got some comments that you want to make, I did see a private number call in a few minutes ago. I usually don't take the private numbers because most of the time they're trolls. But I think somebody in the chat is saying that it's them. If it is, go ahead and call in again now. I will take your call. If there's any more callers, let's go ahead and get them in now. If not, I'm going to get up out of here because we got Monday Night Raw in just a few short hours. And I believe my good friend XLT Live Podcast's very own Tutal is going to be doing a live reaction party over on his channel. Am I correct, sir?
A legitimate live reaction live stream, not one that I just want to, for those people to think you're going to go over to my show and see Raw. You're not. A legitimate live reaction is a person there reacting to what they're watching and then interacting with the fans is what I always do with the viewers and subscribers.
Yes.
I want to throw that out there. For those of you, for people out there, the bigger channels who are basically untouchable, the reactions where they actually play SmackDown or Raw, that is the most illegal thing you can do on YouTube.
Very illegal.
Just saying.
Very illegal.
And
that's not what this is. This is a real, true blue reaction, and Tutal will be doing that, and then he's gonna be doing.
I'm hoping something crazy happens because I was thinking when I did a SmackDown reaction, I was thinking, fuck, if I was live for Shane, people would have seen me fucking fall over on my chair.
I'm trying to plug you. I'm trying to plug you.
What?
I'm trying to plug you.
I was just talking about the shit.
I was plugging you. And directly after his live reaction show, make sure you also check out his review. Not live, because you should be watching this review live, but certainly after my review, go check out XLT Live Podcast. There's no reason not to. He's amazing. So, second best reviewer on YouTube, man. And you know what?
Dave's number one.
I'm number one. I mean, I'm just saying.
I tell people all the time I've told you this when they go on mine. I don't know if I should watch your show or Dave's. I was like, you should just go watch Dave's.
Which we all know is bullshit because we all know that I don't actually believe that I'm number one. But I'll say it because it makes me sound cool.
You are number one. You're number one to me, Dave.
Well, you're number one to me, so isn't that sweet?
Let's just take our shirts off now because this is where it's heading.
Let's do it. We're going to fuck on the air, folks. It's happening. All right, no sex. All right. So no more calls. Looks like we are finished with the calls. So that means we're finished with the show. Thank you guys very much for joining us for the Big Boss Man Spectacular. Love to hear what you guys want to say about him in the comment section. Hit me up on Twitter at DeadOnDaveV. Hit Tutal on Twitter at
XL Tutal.
There you go. And let us know what you think about Big Boss Man, Ray Traylor, Big Bubba going in to the Hall of Fame. We'll see you right after Raw. Make sure you're here. Be here or you will be squared. It's Raw Chicago, bitches. And I'm from Chicago, so I know. Look at the Blackhawks jersey. That means I'm from Chicago. I will be here reviewing this bitch.
Big news, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to cut you off, Dave. Big news for Raw Chicago. AJ Lee tweeted a picture out of Big E holding her dog. CM Punk confirmed to return. Guaranteed.
That's
right there.
That's right. CM Punk will
Guaranteed.
be there. That's right.
CM Punk's going to be there.
Heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. If you don't believe me, go on her Twitter, and you completely see the whole foreshadowing of CM Punk.
Oh, exactly. Has to be. Couldn't be anything else. Couldn't be. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Make sure you're here right after for your copious review. Monday Night Raw. Gonna be hopefully a good one. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends like Too Tall. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious, folks. Peace.